So Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, the big, beautiful bill, it has really fallen apart in recent days. As you all know, it passed the House of Representatives by one vote. But understand something. The reason why it got passed is because the Democrats have a gerontocracy, which basically means that the oldest people in the country are running the Democratic Party. And we've had multiple Democrats die, like 3 within the past few months, 8 if you stretch it back a little further. Got all these 70-something, 80-something-year-old Democrats are dropping dead. And so what you see is that selfish mindset, that gerontocracy mindset, it has real-world tangible impacts. Where now they die in office, it's easier for MAGA to get their agenda passed. This bill never should have passed. Never, never, never. It should have died by 7 or 8 votes, right? But they were able to get it passed by 1 vote. Now, there are so many problems with this bill, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, it is literally the absolute destruction of Medicaid. Low-income people, disabled people rely on Medicaid for their health care. Medicaid holds this country together with duct tape and bubblegum, y'all. It is absolutely necessary. Well, they cut it over $800 billion all willy-nilly. There's cuts to Medicare in that bill. By the way, the Republicans lie about it and pretend there's no cuts. I don't know what you're talking about. Of course there are. All you have to do is read the bill. It is very obvious there are cuts in there, right? They try to weasel their way out of it by saying, well, actually, we're just doing work requirements. Okay, well, what if somebody can't fucking work? Or what if they lose the job through no fault of their own? Then they shouldn't get health care and they should die or go bankrupt? Fuck you. These people are liars, man. So the bill also, as you all know, is a massive tax cut for the wealthy and effectively a massive tax increase on the working class. That's this bill. It also has stuff in there that really tries to defang the courts, including the Supreme Court, so that if the federal government is in contempt of court, there's really nothing they can do about it. It's a fascist bill, and it is a class war bill. It really is that simple. Now, having said that, what's been interesting is that there are a bunch of Republicans in the Senate who look at this bill, and here's what they say. I don't think I could vote for this because it's not shitty enough. That's what they say. You have people like Rand Paul going, you need to do more cuts to Medicaid. You need to do more cuts to the social safety net. I can't vote for this because it adds to the debt and the deficit. You need to cut more spending, right? You also have, to be fair, some purple state Republicans who go, I can't vote for this because the cuts to Medicaid are too deep. So you have criticisms on both sides of it. But what's interesting is, according to all the internal reporting at the moment, they don't have the votes to get this thing through without major changes. We've had multiple, you had Ron Johnson come out and say something to that effect. Rick Scott came out and said something to that effect. These are 2 Republican senators who are like, yeah, they don't have the votes right now. Okay. In step, the Fox News host or Fox Business host here. And even it's so amazing because even they, and these are some of the worst people in the country, some of the most right-wing people, these are like business type conservatives, oligarchy type conservatives. Even they are looking at this bill and they're going, hey, the public is kind of going to hate this. Like you couldn't like throw a little bit of a bone to some of them in this. Watch this. This is incredible.
But the overall effect of the bill, as we know, is to, according to various estimates, to increase the deficit over 10 years by $2 to $3 trillion. People like Ron Johnson, people like Rand Paul have made it very clear that they're not prepared to accept that. And yeah, you can expect significant changes.
I was going to say, I don't understand why they didn't move to higher taxes on the very, very wealthy. That would be politically expedient. It would go down well with everybody except David Barnes.
Well, and me too. I'm with David on this. And not only because I think it would be bad policy, those people are already paying high rates of tax, 37% top rate of tax. Again, if you're lucky enough to live in Florida and Texas, you're not paying an income tax, but you are still paying other taxes too. But the other problem, of course, Stuart, is that raises minimal amounts in terms of the overall effect on the, yes, you can raise the top rate by a couple of percentage
I just don't
points.
want anybody in our audience to think that I would want higher taxes on wealthy people. I'm just saying it would be politically expedient. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. For those of you who don't know, this guy, Scott Varney, is a hyper-capitalist. He's done rants lambasting Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders wants social democracy, wants to raise taxes on the wealthy, wants to create a more robust social safety net and give people universal health care. He is a right-winger's right-winger. That's what he is, right? He would snuggle up in those rooms to all the oligarchs and the billionaires and the captains of industry. And here he is. And he's going, I'm looking at this bill. Really, you couldn't throw them a little bone? You couldn't say, hey, people who make over $10 million a year, you're going to pay 1% extra in taxes? Because what his point is, he says that's politically expedient. What he means by that is, it would be easy, if they were to do that, it would be easy for Trump to go out there and lie and pretend and be like, we're raising taxes on people like me because you know what? We've gotten away with so much for so long, and it's time to give regular people a break, so that's why we're raising taxes. And if Democrats vote against this, they want to lower taxes on the rich, and that's very unpopular, I hear. That's very unpopular. And so what he's saying is, you're not even playing the game of politics intelligently. This bill is so bad. It's so draconian. It's so primitive. It adds so much to the debt and the deficit. It destroys the social safety net so much. You have nothing you can point to where you say, oh, yeah, that's for you. That's for the regular people. Nothing. Wow, man. Wow. In 2016, it's unconscionable to think that a Fox business host would have better political instincts than Trump. When Trump came up, part of his unique ability in 2016 was to say certain things that other Republicans wouldn't say, right? I'm not going to cut you Social Security. I'm not going to cut you Medicare. We're going to keep the jobs here. He would say stuff like that when other conservatives who are more honest, like Mitt Romney, for example, be like, yeah, we got to cut those programs. We're going to cut those programs. And free trade is free trade. If we lose some jobs, we lose some jobs. Trump found a way to demagogue his way through, right? Now, he got away with 91 crimes. He feels fucking invincible. That's why he's destroying this country, doing a robber baron coup, doing a fascist purge. And this bill is so disastrous, they're like, hey, man, it's kind of a hard sell, isn't it? I mean, look at what's in there, homie. This is crazy, bro. Destroy Medicaid, cut Medicare, raise taxes on the poorest people in the country, cut them for the rich, destroy the court system. Really, you couldn't put a little virtue signal, a 1% tax increase on people that make over $10 million a year or some shit? Wow. I'm telling you, man, the vibes have immensely shifted. The Republicans are a victim of their own success. They have the presidency, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have most of the courts. And in that scenario, okay, man, free reign. Free reign. You guys go ahead, do what you do. And they did. And Americans look at that and they go, oh, not like, what are you doing? No, this is horrible. That's what we're witnessing right now. That's what we're witnessing. And also, by the way, it is noteworthy to point out, anytime they're, as they say, we want to do something politically expedient. In other words, we need to do something popular. Isn't it interesting? They have to come to our ideas for that. Isn't that interesting? That really says a lot, doesn't it? It says a lot without saying anything. That, oh, shit, well, obviously the ideas that are popular that people want are left-wing ideas. Obviously, people would want a higher minimum wage. They'd want universal health care. They want things of that nature, get money out of politics, higher taxes on the wealthy, end the wars. Like, duh, if we want to be popular, we do the left-wing thing. Like, that's the embedded admission in this, too. And what you're getting from this regime, as I said, is a fascist takeover and a robber baron coup. And that is appealing to fucking nobody except the fascists and the oligarchs who have all the money and all the power already and want to consolidate even more of it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.